Kellen Ivey is an American politician serving as the 54th and current governor of Alabama since 2017. A member of the Republican Party, she was the 38th Alabama state treasurer from 2003 to 2011 and the 30th lieutenant governor of Alabama from 2011 to 2017. Ivey became Alabama's second female governor and first female Republican governor upon the resignation of her predecessor, Robert J. Bentley. She won a full term in the 2018 gubernatorial election by a wide margin against challenger Walt Maddox. At age 76, Ivey is the oldest incumbent governor in the United States. Ivey was born on October 15, 1944, in Camden, Alabama, as the only child to Boardman Nettles Ivey. Her father was an Army major in World War II, who later worked with the Gee's Bend community as part of a federal program, the Farmers Home Administration. Growing up in Camden, Ivey worked on her father's farm. She graduated from Auburn University, where she was a member of Alpha Gamma Delta, becoming president of her first-year pledge class, and served in the Student Government Association all 4 years. Ivey participated in a blackface skit while at Auburn, for which she later apologized. In 1967, Ivey moved to California following a marriage and became a high school teacher for several years. Following the end of her marriage, she returned to Alabama and landed a position with Merchants National Bank, where she launched a school relations program to promote financial literacy. Ivey has been divorced twice and has no children. In 1979, she was appointed by then-Governor Fob James to serve in the state cabinet. She later served as the reading clerk of the Alabama House of Representatives between 1980 and 1982, and served as assistant director of the Alabama Development Office between 1982 and 1985. In 1982, Ivey ran unsuccessfully for state auditor as a Democrat. She was Director of Government Affairs and Communications for the Alabama Commission on Higher Education from 1985 until 1998. Ivey took office as state treasurer in 2003, after defeating Stephen Black, the grandson of former United States Supreme Court Justice Hugo Black, in the 2002 general election, by a margin of 52 to 48%. In 2006, Ivey was re-elected over Democrat Steve Segrest by a 60-40% margin. She was the first Republican elected state treasurer since Reconstruction. As treasurer, Ivey also oversaw the near-complete financial collapse of the prepaid affordable college tuition program. Under this program, tens of thousands of Alabama families were assured by the state that their investment in the program would guarantee their children 4 years of tuition at any state college. Following the program's inception, many of the state's colleges increased the cost of tuition at triple the inflation rate. So the program became financially unsustainable and was subsequently bailed out by the Alabama state legislature. This unprecedented and unforeseen increase in tuition was not taken into account when the program was developed. Under the Alabama Constitution, Ivey was not eligible to seek re-election to a third term as state treasurer in 2010. Her name surfaced in press speculation about gubernatorial candidates in 2010. In 2009, Ivey announced her candidacy for the Republican nomination for governor in the 2010 elections, joining a crowded field of 7 Republican candidates. In March 2010, Ivey abandoned her run for governor and qualified to run for lieutenant governor. She ran against State Senator Hank Erwin of Montevallo and schoolteacher Jean Ponder of Baldwin County for the Republican nomination. In the June 2010 primary election, Ivey won the nomination with 56.6% of the vote, to Erwin's 31.4% and Ponder's 12%. In the November 2010 elections, in a Republican sweep of statewide offices, Ivey defeated Democratic incumbent Lieutenant Governor Jim Folsom Jr., who had sought an unprecedented fourth term. Ivey received 764,112 votes to Folsom's 718,636. In 2014, Ivey was challenged in the Republican primary by Pastor Stan Cook of Jefferson County. Ivey received the support of major lobbying groups, such as the Business Council of Alabama Alabama Retail Association, Alabama Farmers Federation, and Alabama Forestry Association. Ivey defeated Cook in the primary, with 257,588 votes to Cook's 160,023. In the general election, Ivey faced Democratic nominee James C. Fields, a former state legislator. In November 2014, Ivey won re-election with 738,090 votes to Fields's 428,007. This marked the first time a Republican was re-elected lieutenant governor in the state's history. Ivey was sworn in as governor following the resignation of Robert Bentley on April 10, 2017. She is the second female governor in the state's history. The first was Lurleen Wallace, the wife of George Wallace. She was governor for about 16 months in 1967 and 1968. Until her death from cancer. In April 2017, Ivey signed a bill into law that barred judges from overruling a jury's recommendation on the death penalty.